Hey there. Hello?
No.
Sorry. Hi there, Patricia or Trisha?
Yes, hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Also well. We're gathering our media partners here, but we just wanted to check and make sure we can hear you, so I can hear you good.
Okay.
Are
Yep,
you?
if you want to check in with Tom and have him unmute his video.
Yes. Tom, I
Yes.
just pressed a little S to unmute, but I think you can unmute. There must be like a little, I'm looking. If you go to participants and you should be able to see yourself, and then there's a mute and unmute. For whatever reason, I'm not able to unmute. I can just mute people. It's interesting. Hey, Tom, we still don't have your audio. You just need to check that real quick. You can see you're talking, but not hearing. If you go to kind of hover at the over the bottom of the screen, you should have an area that says participants. If you click on that, it'll pull everybody up. And then you should see yourself, and then you just should be able to hover over your name and press unmute. And I see you're in an Irv. I wish I could just unmute you. I see you. Still got you muted, but I don't know how to unmute you.
I just unmuted myself.
There you are.
Okay.
Yay.
That's perfect. We've got a few more minutes, so we just
Okay,
wanted to
we're
check
moving
and make
here.
sure.
Okay.
Alicia, it's Mary Lynn, just doing a quick sound check. Is this good?
Sounding wonderful.
Great, thank you.
Oh, more people? Okay. All right. You're gonna have to let me know what's going on. Can you folks hear me?
We can hear you. It's a little bit choppy though.
Okay. There's my crew back there working.
Mhm.
Alicia, this is Darwin. Can you hear me?
I can, sounding
Good.
very good.
Good.
Thank you to our partners who are joining us now. We're just going to keep everybody on standby until we get to that 2 o'clock mark. Just saying hello.
Hey, Alicia, can you delete my video?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, Trisha. How are you?
I'm doing well, Mary Lynn. How are you?
I'm good. So good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Tom,
need another
likewise.
I need another Michigan pin. I traded it.
Oh, there you go. There will be one waiting here for you when you get back.
Ready?
Alicia, do you hear a buzzing in the background?
I do not have a buzzing. I do hear a little bit of noise from Tom.
American Red
But-
Cross has some hot meals here.
We were
Okay.
just checking his sound levels. So
Okay. I'm going to see where this noise is coming from.
Red Cross, hot meals here. We have some hot meals for you.
Tom,
Yes,
I'm gonna mute you again, just because we're gonna get started in a couple minutes and you're
Sure.
still working. But just when it's time for you to talk, just know you gotta unmute again.
okay. Yeah,
Thank you.
that. Somebody.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Alicia Dorr. I'm with the communications team of the American Red Cross Michigan region. We're going to get started in just a minute or so as people are joining, but it's just a couple quick housekeeping items we wanted to go over. I put everyone on mute, but just in case you're going to be coming off mute for our speakers and things like that, please put your cell phone on silent. For those who wish to record, you are happy to be able to do that, but also know that we will be sending out a recording. And it's 2:01, so we're just going to give everybody one more minute to kind of get settled, and then I'm going to introduce our speakers. All right, everybody, I think we're gonna get started with due respect to everyone's time, especially to our volunteers who are out in the field. So with that, let me introduce our first speakers. Mary Lynn Foster, Regional Chief Executive Officer of the American Red Cross Michigan region. Darwin Roche, Regional Disaster Officer for the American Red Cross Michigan region. Mary Lynn and Darwin are both in Detroit today. We're also very pleased to welcome from Florida 2 of our Michigan volunteers, Patricia Nelson and Tom Westgate. The format of this briefing will go like this. We'll start with our prepared remarks from Mary Lynn and from Darwin. Once they've completed those, we're going to invite Patricia and Tom to share some of their experiences and perspective so far on their deployment in response to Hurricane Ian. Then we're going to open it up to a Q&A with our members of the news media. With that, Mary Lynn, want to lead us off?
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Alicia, and good afternoon, everyone. I really want to extend just a lot of gratitude to our media folks that are on the phone here and on video with us, and also our volunteers. Darwin and I wanted to take this opportunity to provide an update about the Red Cross Michigan region and disaster relief and response efforts going on right now in Florida. It's been about a week since Hurricane Ian slammed into Florida, and the Red Cross is working day and night alongside our partners to provide food, to provide shelter and comfort for people facing the heartbreaking devastation left behind by Hurricane Ian. Currently, we have a team of nearly 50, or 47 to be exact, Michigan volunteers deployed to Florida. Collectively, more than 1,500 Red Crossers from all 50 states and the District of Columbia are supporting these relief efforts. Many neighborhoods that were home to retirees on fixed incomes and mobile home parks have been left unrecognizable, and conditions are still making it difficult for people to get aid. With help from our partners, we're reaching out to offer relief and support so that no one faces this tough time alone. Early estimates indicate that tens of thousands of homes have been affected by Ian. It will be weeks before we know the full scope of the damage, and it's going to take time to reach all of those who need help. Certainly a disaster of this magnitude, one that devastates critical infrastructure across a wide geographic area packed with people, requires a team effort. The Red Cross is working closely with local officials, government agencies, and other nonprofits to make sure people get the help they need as quickly as possible. Some of the partners the Red Cross is working with include the NAACP, which is supporting feeding operations, and also Save the Children, which is providing support for children in emergency shelters. But people are asking, how can they help? Well, here are 3 distinct ways. First, consider making a financial donation. We will be working side by side with our partners in Florida to help people in need for weeks and months to come. To help people affected by Hurricane Ian, visit redcross.org, or you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS, or text the word Ian, I-A-N, to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Your gift is a commitment to helping people in need, and every single donation matters. Financial donations enable the Red Cross to prepare for, respond to, and help people recover from this disaster. Secondly, consider giving blood. Please schedule an appointment to give blood or platelets today by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app or visiting redcrossblood.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS, which is 1-800-733-2767. Again, that's 1-800-733-2767. While the Red Cross is not currently experiencing a blood shortage, we are closely monitoring our inventory in the wake of Hurricane Ian. Dangerous weather conditions and floodwaters have canceled dozens of blood drives, with about 1,000 life-saving blood and platelet donations going uncollected. It's especially critical that individuals in unaffected areas with type O blood types, as well as those willing to give platelets, to do so. Thirdly, volunteer. If you have the time, you can make a significant impact as a Red Cross volunteer. Review our most urgently needed volunteer positions at redcross.org/volunteer today, and you can get involved today. If you're able to contribute in any one of these three ways, we would be most grateful. Our hearts break for the people impacted by Hurricane Ian and other disasters like Hurricane Fiona and the wildfires out west. I'm really proud of our Michigan volunteers who are helping those affected and will continue to do so in the weeks and months to come. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to you, Darwin. Darwin, I think you might be on mute.
Thank you, Mary Lynn. I also want to extend my appreciation and gratitude to our paid Michigan staff and volunteers, affectionately known as Team Unstoppable. Historically, the Michigan region of the Red Cross has been a leader in coordinating volunteer deployments where the need is most. As Mary Lynn mentioned, we have 47 volunteers in the communities helping them impacted by the Hurricane Ian and elsewhere. And there's more volunteers in pre-deployment stage. I am proud to say the Michigan team has one of the largest volunteer groups deployed to Florida among all Red Cross regions. But we also have volunteers supporting relief efforts in Puerto Rico and in South Carolina, which was also damaged by Hurricane Ian. Here in Michigan, we have volunteers who continue the important work of the Red Cross by installing smoke alarms and responding to home family fires on a daily basis. In Michigan, we have a very dedicated and resilient team of volunteers who do exceptional work. In Florida, Red Cross volunteers are focused on reaching out to offer relief and support so no one faces this tough time alone. The Red Cross has handed out more than 62,000 comfort kits and other relief items, such as cleaning supplies. Last week, we deployed 5 of our emergency response vehicles who drove all the way from Michigan down to Florida to assist with that disaster response. This is among 80 other Red Cross emergency response vehicles that are delivering tens of thousands of meals and relief supplies to people struggling in the hardest hit areas. Along with our partners, the Red Cross has provided over 355,000 meals and snacks to people in need. On Tuesday alone, some 142,000 meals were provided. Several mobile kitchens are set up by our partners like the Southern Baptist Convention, who are cooking tens of thousands of hot meals every day. Several of our Michigan volunteers are providing care and comfort in shelters that give a person a safe place to rest. On Tuesday night, more than 2,000 people sought refuge in nearly 20 Red Cross and partner shelters in the state of Florida. Trained Red Cross volunteers are also helping families deal with this very challenging time by replacing prescriptions, medications, eyeglasses, and critical medical equipment like canes and wheelchairs. The Red Cross helps everyone in the need after a disaster, and everyone is welcome into our shelters. All disaster assistance is free, and we don't require people to show any sort of identification to enter a shelter, just their name and where they lived at before the disaster. Power outages are often widespread and sometimes affects millions of people. If you have a loved one that needs help, please reach out through our disaster distress hotline, which is 24/7, and that number is 1-800-985-5990, or text "Talk with Us," one word, to 66746. This is a very difficult time for everyone affected, and it's so important for people to connect and support each other. Events like this can cause feelings of uncertainty, anxiety, since no one knows what potentially can happen next. We want people to know that the Red Cross is here to support them through this relief effort. As you can see, the American Red Cross prevents and alleviates human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. Now I have the pleasure to introduce two of our volunteers who have boots on the ground in Florida, Patricia Nelson and Tom Westgate. Thank you both for everything you do, Patricia. Lead us off.
Patricia, I think you might be on mute.
There you go. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are well and safe. My name is Tricia Nelson. I am a proud member of the Michigan Region Volunteer Group for the Red Cross. I have been deployed down to Daytona Beach. We are on the tsunami side of Florida, not the apocalyptic side of Florida. I am at the Ocean Center Mega Shelter. We do have the ability to house 1,000 clients under our roof. It is my first mega shelter. I have done this more than a few times. Most of my deployments have been down in Louisiana. This is my first time deploying to Florida. On this side of the state, there were under 4 to 6 feet of water in some neighborhoods. People have lost everything. They are coming in with the clothes on their back that they have been wearing for days after their homes were flooded. In our shelter, I have been designated as the daytime kitchen manager. It's a daunting task, but one that we're just so happy to do. Our motto in our kitchen is that no client leaves our food line without a smile. They get their cots, they have State Farm, or they have Red Cross, sorry, I was a State Farm employee for 32 years. We have Red Cross volunteers that sit down. We all sit down and we listen to their stories, because half of their recovery is telling their story and being able to release everything. When they come through the food line, it's our job to put a smile on their face. So we do things like we tell jokes. If it's snack time, we will juggle the snacks. We will do the Heisman Trophy when we're passing out a Twinkie. Everybody comes through our line, and it's our job to give wonderful comfort care so that they know where to find us, and if they need us, we're right there. We have 3 meals a day. We do have a food kitchen that we are working with. So one of those meals is hot. Yesterday we had lasagna, and everybody loved it. A very balanced breakfast. We have sandwiches in the evening. Snacks are available 24 hours a day. And that's our motto in the kitchen. Everybody leaves with a smile. It's a devastating thing down here that is ongoing. Unfortunately, the underground system in this part of Florida is inundated with the water that is trying to get out of the middle of the state. And it is coming through the ground and it is flooding areas that were not flooded before. So we have clients coming in all the time because we have new floods coming up from the groundwater. So they have a very long time before they're going to get through this. And we'll be here for them as long as we can. So I have a couple stories that I would like to tell you. I sat down with the family. There's 7 of them. There's a mom and dad, and there's 5 small children. They decided to ride out Ian. The water was up to their ankles. They thought they could take it. Within an hour, it was up to the father's knees. He told his wife, it's time for us to get out. They gathered up what they could. He had one child on his back with his arms around his neck, another child on the front, arms around the back of his neck. He had a child in each arm, and the mom had one. And by the time they got out the front door, there were boats coming down. He stopped a boat, and it was up to his chest. He put his wife and his 5 children on that boat. He turned around, and he knew that 2 neighbors were going to ride the storm out. He waited in chest-high water to go get those people and get them on a boat before he got on a boat himself. That man got his first shirt from one of our partners yesterday, and he was able to take a hot shower and change into some new clothes. And my second story is of a young man. He is 13 years old. This young man has been asking the whole week if he could help us. Please let me help. Please let me help. Yesterday, we allowed him to start breaking down boxes. We got some clearance. We allowed him to start breaking down boxes, and he was put in charge in my kitchen to keep my Gatorade, my water, and my juice boxes loaded up for me so that I could do snacks and hot meals and get the food out. Happy to do it. And last night we awarded him with a smock, and on the back we all wrote honorary volunteer with his name on the front. And we sat him down, we all signed it, and the tears that were streaming down this little boy's face that he was recognized as an honorary volunteer. And after it was over, he came up to me and made me pinky swear that when he turns 18 and can volunteer with the Red Cross, that I would still be running hurricanes, and that one day him and I would run a hurricane together. And I'm going to keep that promise to that little boy. He also pulled out from behind him. They were given a little bit of money yesterday. They went to Walmart. And when they came back, knowing that I am a Star Wars fan, him and his mother bought me a pair of Star Wars socks and gave me a Star Wars sock. So never coming down to ever making a connection with any of these people. And just knowing that you reach out to someone in such a significant way just by giving them food, shelter, listening to their stories. It's what we do. It's what fills our souls. And that's why we volunteer with the Red Cross. What an organization. I am so proud to be a part of it. And I would re-up next week, but unfortunately, my children have organized a surprise 60th birthday party, and I have promised to go home, but the surprise is out of the bag because they had to make sure that I was coming home for it. But that's all I have for you. It's continuing to go. We're having new people arrive every day. And this is incredibly rewarding, and I'm so proud to be a part of this. Thank you so much for letting me do this. Tom.
Yes.
Sorry,
think
Tom?
I'm muted. Yes.
I think you may be muted.
Well, I unmuted myself, I thought.
There you are.
I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you.
You can?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mary Westgate, we're down here from Southwest Michigan chapter. We've been with the Red Cross for about 17 years, and this is probably our 50th deployment. This is a tough one on these folks. I've never seen a hurricane damage like this. Our job here is feeding. That's what we're doing right now. We're in an emergency response vehicle. And I've got, actually I got, my wife is in the back, and we have a ride-along disaster mental health person with us, who's also feeding people, plus is talking to people, see how they're doing. I didn't hear all the stats and things, but I'll just throw a couple out there. There's 61 of our emergency response vehicles down here, similar to the one we have. And out of the kitchen, we're in, our kitchen is in Cape Coral, Florida. And they served 14,000 meals yesterday. And we're out doing a mobile route in North Fort Myers. It looks like very low income area, a lot of house fires, a lot of damage. These people have no power still. And I think it's about 90 degrees out. I'm sitting here with air conditioning, which is working real well, but it's a whole lot better than these poor folks. We're delivering water. And today I think we have a chicken for the 4th, 5th day roll, and peaches and green peas.
Thank you
I
so
hope you
much.
heard me.
Yes, we did hear you. Thank you so much, Tom. I know you're out there on the route and feeding people as we speak. So we don't want to keep you forever, but we're just grateful that you're able to join us for a moment. And everybody, I'm sure, understands we're just getting a little choppy video, but that's because you're right in the thick of it. So thank you for your work.
Yeah. You're welcome.
So right
Red Cross
now,
has some hot meals here.
So right now we're gonna open this up to questions for our friends in the media who've joined us. You know, I will call on you if you want to raise your hand, or if you want to just shoot a message into the chat, I'll monitor that. We just ask that you identify yourself and also identify your news organization and who you want to maybe direct the question to, whether it be our folks here in Detroit or our folks who are actually on the ground. So however you want to do that. And I've got a question coming in, it looks like, for Trisha. So Trisha, Allie, do you want to take yourself off mute to ask the question, or would you like to put it in the chat?
I can ask it if that's okay.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. Hi, Trisha. I'm with News Channel 3 over in Kalamazoo, Michigan. First of all, thank you so much for what you're doing. We are working on a story today about how some animal shelters, specifically the SPCA, is helping with some of the animal displacement over in Florida. I wanted to hear a little bit from your perspective, if you could share a sentiment with us at all about some of the help you may be seeing between families who have lost some pets, or, you know, if you see some pets roaming around there, any stories or insight you might be able to give us.
Yes, well, our mega shelter, the Ocean Center in Daytona Beach, is a pet-friendly shelter. So people are allowed to bring any of their animals. Actually, we have a rabbit in our facility at the moment. So we do provide an area for the pet families to congregate together. Each pet does have their own crate, They're doing well. I have had the ability to take a couple dogs for walks. We have an area where the dogs can go out and take nice long walks. And so, yes, we have been able to have some of the people come in with their pets. This is a pet-friendly center. And they're all doing well. I mean, they're displaced as well. So I do believe they're pretty confused. We have a parrot. The parrot does tend to get a little loud at the nighttime, but they were able to bring the cover for the parrot so that they can kind of shut them down a little bit. But yes, it's pet friendly.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tricia, and thank you, Allie. Are there any other questions that anybody from our media partners might like to ask? You can put yourself off mute, or you can put a question right there in the chat. I do have one question for Mary Lynn or Darwin. Do you kind of anticipate we're going to see more Michigan volunteers heading down to help in these affected areas?
Yes, absolutely. The deployment plan works usually 2 weeks there. So we're in our first rotation. As they come back, we'll rotate out more volunteers down there. And obviously this is an emerging situation. So, but we stand ready, we stand in the gap to provide volunteers as well as our paid staff too, to go down to Florida as well as Georgia and other places to provide help, comfort, and care.
That's great. Thank you so much, Darwin. And then Tricia, I'll just ask you a quick question as well before we wrap things up, or as people are thinking of their questions. Tricia, is there anything maybe that you could say that's different or interesting about this deployment? I know they say every deployment's a little different, so I'm wondering how this one's stacking up.
Absolutely. This is probably the most difficult deployment that I have been on. The devastation, the families that are coming in that have lost everything. It is extremely emotional for these people. It's a lot more emotional this time than really any other place that I've been. I've been with Laura and Delta, Ida, and it just seems like this has been just over emotional. I believe it's because it was statewide, and the devastation is so immense, and it has affected almost everybody. So this is definitely the most difficult deployment I've been on, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Well, we do thank you for your service down there, and just want to see if I know Tom's in and out of the, there's a lot going on there, so we wanted to see Tom. Do you have anything about this, this particular deployment that seems different or unique to you so far? Oh, also to unmute, sorry.
Yeah, this is a rough one. I've never seen this much damage on a hurricane. We were over in Fort Myers Beach, over 3 miles from the beach, and a trailer park and manufactured homes had about 6 feet of water inside. And that's over 3 miles from the beach. So, and we come across a lady, and she asked. She said, "Get me out of here." So we went down to the local fire department, had the search and rescue people go take her out of there. And we do find some folks there well, we have a 90-year-old that was in a house that was flooded and she won't leave. We have to send our mental health people over there to talk to her, I guess, because their health service is pretty bad conditions and the mold is starting to grow.
Well, again, we're just so grateful for your time and that you're willing to give up that.
Here, just a couple minutes. Emil? Yeah, just pull over and.
So do we have any questions from our media partners before we wrap things up? You can either
Alicia,
pop.
Alicia, while you are just checking to see if there are any final questions, I first want to extend my thanks to all of the media partners who have joined us this afternoon. We certainly appreciate your help and your support and joining us today and helping to get the word out as well. Certainly to both Tom and Mary Westgate for the incredible work that they're doing. And Trisha, wow, you know, what you're doing in the kitchen and the stories that you shared. I was having tears in my eyes, I have to admit. And just thank you for everything that you're doing, for making a difference, for really making a difference and providing those smiles to everyone that is enjoying a meal because of you and because of the work that Tom and Mary are doing, along with all the other Red Cross volunteers from across the country. Just simply
My
extraordinary.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Well, wonderful. Well, I don't have any questions in the chat. So I'm thinking that we're go ahead to wrap up and get everybody back to what they're doing, especially Patricia. And we're just so grateful to you and Tom for what you're doing down there. So as we do wrap up, we just want to thank you, Mary Lynn, Darwin, Trisha, and Tom and Mary, who's in the back, and all the other crew who are down there from Michigan and all over the country, helping these people as they work to get back on their feet. If you have any further questions, you can reach out to myself or David Olerjars, and we're both at Michigan MI Communications at redcross.org. And if you do want to reach Red Cross for anything at all, 1-800-RED-CROSS is always a good number to have in your pocket. So we thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.